Work in Russian Federation only after work permit obtainment. There are several procedures provided by Russian legislation that gives permission for a foreign national to work in Russia. The first procedure is employment as highly qualified specialist, the second is standard procedure with or without quota, and the third one as a special procedure for CIS citizen. Among these quite complicated procedures, we'd like to pay your attention to employment of as highly qualified specialist, because it gives a certain priority both to a company employer and to the employee. The period that is necessary to wait to have all documents issued by FMS service is 14 business days for CIS citizen or approximately 1 month for foreign nationals with visa regime with Russia. These terms are short in comparison to 3 or 4 months according to general procedure. And it's not the only advantage of highly qualified specialist procedure. For example, standard procedure is quite complicated. It has several stages and it gives a permission for a foreign citizen to work in Russia only for the period of 1 year. In comparison to this, highly qualified specialist is allowed to stay and work in Russia for the period of 3 years. Moreover, company employer pays 13% of personal income tax. That is kind of exception from tax resident system of Russia, when amount of the taxes to be paid depends on the quantity of days spent on the territory of Russia. Additionally, no payments to pension fund and to social insurance fund are to be paid. Highly qualified specialist can also submit documents for permanent residence permit based on his or her work permit, which allow them to work in any other Russian company without obtainment of additional work permit. Members of family of highly qualified specialists can also submit documents for permanent residence permit, and it also allows them to stay in Russia without visa and without obtainment of additional work permits. This year, representative officers of foreign companies have been granted with the right to employ foreign nationals as highly qualified specialists. However, there are some restrictions concerning their quantity. Representative officers are allowed to employ only 5 foreign nationals as a general rule and only 2 in the bank sphere. In general, it's not so easy to employ foreign nationals in Russia. Even highly qualified specialist procedure, that is one of the perfect solutions for business, can cause some difficult situations. It becomes possible to deal with such issues easily only after having analyzed the present situation in a company and being quite experienced in such a specific kind of activity as immigration law.